How I improve my English speaking skills. Hello, dear students. Welcome Practical English Stories. English can be challenging at first, but trust me, the journey is worth it. If you're on the path to improving your English, I want to share how I improved my speaking skills over time. This is my story, and I hope it inspires you to keep going, no matter where you are in your learning journey. Enjoy the journey, make it fun, and stay consistent. The most important thing to remember is enjoy the process. Learning a language can feel overwhelming at times, but if you make it fun, you'll stay motivated. Find what excites you about English. It could be watching movies, listening to music, reading books, or even having a conversation with someone. Whatever it is, make it something that keeps you engaged. Staying consistent is crucial. Even if you only practice for 10 to 15 minutes a day, consistency is the key to progress. The more you expose yourself to English, the faster your speaking skills will improve. Step-by-step progress. I didn't become fluent overnight. My journey was gradual. At first, I focused on simple vocabulary and grammar. But over time, I realized that the real magic happens when you start speaking with real people. Speaking regularly with others forces you to think on your feet, use the vocabulary you've learned, and practice in a real-world context. In the early stages, I was focused on reading and listening to English every day. But I knew that if I didn't start speaking soon, I would continue feeling stuck. So my next step was to find opportunities to talk with others, using everyday expressions. One of the biggest challenges I faced early on was overcoming the fear of speaking English. I was nervous about making mistakes or not being understood. But the more I spoke, the more I realized that the key to speaking better was simply to keep speaking. I started practicing with everyday expressions, things like greetings, small talk, and simple sentences. For example, instead of worrying about complex grammar, I focused on getting comfortable with phrases like, "How's your day going? What do you like to do in your free time? Can you recommend a good movie?" These phrases helped me feel more confident. I didn't need to worry about making mistakes. I just needed to use the expressions I had learned and practice regularly. Finding language partners. One of the best decisions I made during my learning journey was to find language exchange partners. I started looking for people who wanted to practice English and were open to speaking with me. There are plenty of online platforms like HelloTalk, Tandem, or even language exchange groups on social media where you can find people to talk to. Speaking with language partners has been one of the most valuable experiences for me. It helped me improve my fluency, build confidence, and understand how real conversations work. In the beginning, I didn't understand everything, and I made a lot of mistakes. But little by little, I became more comfortable responding quickly and without translating in my head. A helpful tip. At first, I was worried about running out of things to say during conversations. Sometimes I would freeze and not know how to continue. To solve this problem, I started preparing a few questions or topics before each conversation. I didn't want to be caught off guard. Some of the questions I would prepare included, "What do you like to do in your free time? Where's your favorite place to travel? What's something interesting you've learned recently?" Having these questions prepared helped the conversation flow smoothly and took away some of the pressure. It also made the interaction more enjoyable, both for me and for my conversation partner. The technique that changed my speaking. Shadowing. One of the most effective techniques that helped me improve my speaking was shadowing. You might have heard of this technique before, but let me explain how it works and why it was a game changer for me. What is shadowing? Shadowing is when you listen to a native speaker, whether it's from a podcast, interview, or movie, and immediately repeat what they say. The idea is to copy their pronunciation, rhythm, and intonation as closely as possible. It's like mimicking them in real time. How shadowing helped me improve pronunciation. Shadowing helped me improve my pronunciation because I was hearing how words should sound directly from native speakers. It allowed me to catch subtle sounds I might have missed otherwise. Intonation and rhythm. English has a specific rhythm and intonation that's different from other languages. Shadowing helped me learn how to speak with the right stress and tone, which made my English sound more natural. Sentence structure. Shadowing also helped me understand how native speakers form sentences, which is essential for fluent speaking. You learn how to string words together naturally, without thinking too much about grammar. How I practice shadowing. When I first started shadowing, I used subtitles to help me follow along. I would watch a movie or a video in English, repeating the sentences as soon as I heard them. Once I felt more comfortable, I removed the subtitles and relied purely on listening. I started by repeating short sentences and then gradually worked up to more complex ones. It felt challenging at first, but as I practiced more, I noticed my speaking becoming smoother and more fluid. Speaking fluently without overthinking. Grammar. One of the things that made the biggest difference in my speaking ability was learning to speak fluently without overthinking grammar. In the beginning, I was constantly worried about making mistakes, especially with grammar. But I soon realized that fluency comes from practice, not from perfection. Instead of trying to construct the perfect sentence every time, I learned common expressions and phrases that native speakers use. For example, instead of focusing on complicated grammar, I use sentences like, "I'm really looking forward to the weekend. It's been a while since we talked. I have a lot to do today." These kinds of sentences help me speak naturally and comfortably. Over time, I stopped worrying about grammar and started focusing on expressing myself more clearly and confidently. Speak slowly and clearly. When I started learning English, I thought that speaking fast would make me sound more fluent. However, I soon realized that it's not about speed, it's about clarity. Speaking slowly and clearly is more important than rushing through your sentences. By speaking more slowly, I gave myself time to think and make sure my words were correct. I focused on pronouncing each word clearly, which made it easier for others to understand me. As I got more comfortable with this, my fluency improved, and I was able to speak faster naturally without losing clarity. A surprising benefit. As I became more comfortable speaking at a slower pace, something interesting happened. People started understanding me more easily. I felt less pressure to rush, and I was able to speak more confidently. When you speak at a comfortable pace, you'll naturally become more fluent over time. So don't rush. Focus on being clear, and the speed will come later. Overcoming the fear of speaking. One of the biggest obstacles I faced when learning English was the fear of speaking. I was terrified of making mistakes and being judged. But over time, I learned that mistakes are a natural part of the learning process. No one speaks perfectly at first, not even native speakers. What matters is that you keep trying. People are usually supportive when you make an effort, so don't be afraid to speak up. How I overcame my fear talking to myself. At first, I practiced speaking English in front of a mirror. I would have many conversations with myself about simple topics, like, "What did I have for lunch today?" Or, "What are my plans for the weekend?" Recording myself. Another method that helped me was recording myself speaking. I would pick a topic, talk for a few minutes, and then listen to the recording. I could hear where I needed to improve, and it helped me track my progress over time. The more I practiced, the less afraid I became. It's completely normal to make mistakes. What matters is that you learn from them and keep going. The key to fluency, consistency. Consistency is the most important factor in improving your speaking skills. Even if you can only practice for a few minutes a day, the key is to keep doing it regularly. Little by little, your fluency will improve, and one day you'll realize how far you've come. Quick tips to improve your English speaking. Start with simple conversations. Don't feel the need to dive into complex discussions. Start small and build your confidence. Talk to yourself and record your voice. This is a great way to practice without the pressure of a real conversation. Find language partners or join communities. Practicing with real people will accelerate your progress. Use shadowing to improve pronunciation. This technique helped me sound more natural. Speak slowly and clearly. Focus on being clear first. Speed will come later. Over time, fluency will come naturally. The most important thing is to keep going. Confidence comes with practice, and the more you expose yourself to English, the easier it will get. Sure, here's the translated version in English. If this video helped you, don't forget to like and leave a comment. I'll see you in the next video.